Alright, welcome to the video. In this video, I want to share a very important lesson that I've learned from a very successful entrepreneur. Right? I'm always learning, I'm always speaking to a very inspirational people so that I can learn and I can be the next level. And what I notice is that there are two things that we really need to be mindful if you want to achieve your goals and as well as be really successful and in a spiritual level and as well as material level. And obviously if we do have a choice, if we get to choose to be broke or to be rich, then I believe that a lot of people actually chooses to have material success so that we can, have better life and as well as we can share that with other people, right? So there's very important lesson that I've learned from very successful people having multiple businesses in Japan and as well as outside of Japan. And one is that who you work with, who you work with. And the reason why it's so important because when it comes to life, the tools is very important. So if you're in the jungle, then obviously you need a tool to survive. In the human society, it's the same. So that's why I'm teaching entrepreneur how to literally transform your mind so that you can think the way you're supposed to think to achieve any goals. If you change your mind, you will achieve any goals in life. I can guarantee, and this is how I became a seven-figure entrepreneur and 2.6 million followers, and I manifested my dreams, which is TEDx talk, my car, the vintage car, and whatever, you name it. You're designing your life to a point of 1 millimeter and 1 centimeter details. Okay, if you look around, there's nothing which is not designed by you. Like this is the house that I live. There's a lot of plants, right? And then I'm shooting there, I'm working there, whatever. So I have all these plants and these vintage boxes. It's because I really liked it and I bought this, so I designed this room to a point of where 1 millimeter, 1 centimeter details that's you're designing. And then you might say that I'm not creating this pain and feeling stuck and everything because I like it or because I want to, but it just happened and I didn't choose it. But in a subconscious level, that's your choice. And then I thought the same thing, when I was modeling especially, I was literally pointing a finger at everybody else and every other models in Tokyo that why am I not having a job? Why I don't have a job and why all these boys have a job, right? I'm like, come on, Japanese models, they all look Asian, they all look basically very same, and we are the same height, right? 6.1, 6.2, something like that. And then why am I not getting the job? And why they're getting the job? So I was being a victim. I was being a victim of my own design and reality. So we have to take the responsibility, but it allows you to have a space and as well as the ability to change. Well, if I made it, then I can change it, right? So when it comes to the tool, there's one thing that I actually made this video the other day, but vehicle is one of the most important thing. What do you work on? What are you working on? Because this is the reason why I also teach personal branding, because even if you're like Tarzan, you're gonna still need a tool to survive in the jungle. And in the human society too, you could be very charismatic, you could be very confident, you could be very good looking, you could be very spiritual, but you're gonna need a tool to survive and to have a good life, to be able to support your parents and take your friends to a vacation, or to have a really amazing family, to travel around the world. Whatever the desire you have, whatever the dream you have, you need a tool, okay? And that's why you have to understand what tool you use and then what vehicle you're on. Because even if you're so excited and motivated and you're so putting so much energy and an effort and passion into some tools like you have as skills, right? If your vehicle is bicycle, then you're not going to get to Hawaii from Japan. There's no way that you're going to get to Hawaii from Japan by bicycle. You're going to need an airplane, right? So you have to have a tool, and this is just skill, something that you can rely on. Okay, in this life, you want to have something that you can rely on, which is something about you, your skills, your knowledge, your experience, and which If you know how to turn into money, then you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to be anxious all the time and then stressed about the money, because the best thing about having money is you don't need to think about it. You don't need to worry about it. When you pay for somebody else, when you give, you just don't care. It's just like, hey, like if that could put a smile on that person's face, or my parents' face, or my friend's face, then I'm happy to pay, right? So that's the best thing about having money, not the fucking Lambo and shit. Okay, so what is the tool that you're working on? What's the skill that you're working on? And what's the vehicle that you're working on? What do you work on in your business? What kind of business you're working on? And is this something that you just so attached but has zero possibility to, well, I wouldn't say zero possibility, but it's really difficult to get to Hawaii from Japan, like bicycle, or I don't know, taxi, because you need an airplane, or perhaps helicopter, I don't know. But you see, like, the wrong vehicle take you to only the limited places, right? And who you work with. If you're working with somebody who's just not skillful, then you're not going to get the result that you're looking for, right? But the most importantly, skill is learnable, but do you share the core value? Do you share the core value in life with the person? I'm pretty sure that you've heard that there are a lot of businesses who is partnering up, like for friends starting a business. They always have a problem. They always have fight, conflict, betrayal. It's because they don't share the core value, and then somebody gets betrayed, somebody gets fucked. Is because one person doesn't share the same value as the other. So you have to be able to see through the core value of that person. If you're genuine, and then if you really see the vision of like helping others, and then making more money, and then building your business, but it's more like really including a lot of people and sharing with others. And on the other hand, if your partner only think about the money and then profit, then this person is going to fuck you up in your business, and it might betray you as well. So you need a decent level of skill. You need your partner and then people who you work with. Look for the skills, but from certain level, what you look for is a loyalty. What you look for is a core value. Because if you work with the wrong person with the right vehicle, and that, my friend, is a very difficult situation that you have to put yourself into, because you're on the right vehicle. You're in an airplane. Then imagine the airplane gets betrayed by your partner. Then you have to just jump off. That, my friend, is it will be a difficult situation to deal with, and then it will give you a lot of like trauma and trust issues and stuff. So really step back and focus on, if you currently work in your business, if you're going to start working on your business with a partner by yourself, you might outsource. You might gonna get help from somebody else for your business. Always, what do you work on and who you work with? And then if you actually lock in these two, then it's going to help you to accelerate the growth. Okay, it's not about how much work you put into it, how hard you work, but it's really about work smart. Work hard, but work smarter than you work harder, if that makes sense. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of the day and keep crashing. As always, we're on this together, right? I'm working on myself. I'm working on, business and everything by myself, but you're doing that too. And then we are on the team. We're doing it together. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.